So to begin with, let's talk about Agency Accelerator. So Agency Accelerator is a brand new platform that we've launched here at Care Hires. It's a platform designed for you as agencies, by you as agencies. So over a year ago, we spoke to, over the past few years, but over a year ago, we started the product development of Agency Accelerator from all the feedback that we were receiving from agencies. We spoke to a lot of agencies who are up and coming, growing, really wanted to focus on client growth and client opportunities. But something that kept coming about to us was that they struggled to find one system that had all of their operational requirements and needs. They were using spreadsheets, they were using multiple platforms, and they were trying to fine-tune their operations. And in doing so, they spent a lot of time, effort on admin and managing their operations rather than focusing on business growth, new client opportunities, on staff quality, recruitment. That time was swept away by just managing operations alone. And so what we did is we created Agency Accelerator and built functionality so you have one system that has everything in one place to manage your operations as an agency. Now, the added benefit of Agency Accelerator is that you're able to then focus on client growth. Now, whilst you're using Agency Accelerator and it's fine-tuned your operations, the key thing is that you want to meet expectations from the care providers and the care homes out there. We know that legislation is getting much tighter. They want zero gaps in compliance. They want to know that the agencies that they're using have all of their staff compliance aligned. They can access documents easily. They want to know that their agencies are operating quite clearly and comfortably and with full control and visibility of their workforce. What we did is building that platform, we allowed agencies to be able to build that structure and build that confidence in their providers that they have the right operations for the client. Now, in doing that, it instills that confidence in the client. And it means that they're likely to pick you. We speak to a lot of clients on a day-to-day basis as well. And we all know out there, we're all, worked with temp agencies and our temp agencies, we know that there can sometimes be a stigma related to temp staffing or using agency. And we wanted this opportunity to flip the script on care providers and show that you're just as capable, you have your operations intact, you know that your staff are fully compliant and you're in control of your workforce and you're able to provide quality staff to their services. So that's something that we really, really wanted to support you as an agency in gathering together and really using to utilize and get more clients for your business. In terms of Agency Accelerator, it's about scrapping all those multiple tabs, apps, spreadsheets. So if that's where you're at right now, if you're using multiple payroll systems, invoicing systems, if you're using Google Drives, if you're using spreadsheets, if you're using emails alone just to manage schedules, then this is going to be something for you to capture all of that in one place. Agency Accelerator, you will have seen part of the modules that are involved. Everyone here right now is an existing Care Hires agency. You're part of our network, which means a few weeks ago, you logged into the system and you saw a brand new interface. In fact, you saw a brand new platform. And part of that entire platform, you will have seen these components. You will have seen the marketplace, which is part of your Care Hires services that you're already registered with. That's now built into the Agency Accelerator platform. So you're not only getting the Care Hires services, you've upgraded to a brand new platform that has other elements like a full scheduling system, an opportunity for you to add your external and new clients onto the system, manage worker leaves, compliance matrix. You've got the whole invoicing, payroll entity, reporting. You've got all of that in one place. So what I'll do right now is I'll talk you through the system, show you the components as it works. And like I said, if you've got any questions along the way, feel free to pop it into the question box and obviously hit the like button if you see a question that is something that you want to know, and I'll answer them at the end of the call. So moving on to the platform. This is something that is going to look familiar to you. It's something that you're going to see when you log in for the first time. You'll see on the left-hand side that there's brand new modules that are attached here. Now, as we here are all agencies that have worked with the Care High services, and you've seen the platform. What I'll do is I'm going to focus on the features and the points that are related to Agency Accelerator. You'll see that the organization section here is based on your account, your agency details, and that remains exactly as it is. The new and nice feature here is the client profile and client module. So when I click on view onto clients, what it does is it allows me to create new client profiles. So any clients that you have outside of Care Highs, you're now able to upload them onto Agency Accelerator and create a profile for that client and keep all of their data in one location. So where you've got multiple internal staff who liaise with this client, you're able to keep all of that information regarding the client in one place. So everyone's really singing from the same hymn sheet when they're speaking to this client or understanding what this client offers. You've got the main core page where you can set up the client details. You're able to validate the profile by putting in their business registration details, and you're able to add new sites. So if you've got a client group with multiple care homes and care sites, you can add those sites. This you can create as you wish, by the site name, whether they're VAT exempt or VAT registered, their specialisms, you can pop that in here. And then you can assign individual contacts for that particular site if you prefer. You can add multiple notes, information and details about that site that's going to be really useful to your team members and anyone who's using the platform internally. If it's something to do with the specialism or the service users or anything particular that they need to be aware of, that service information can be put down over here for you. Your next sections under the client profiles is going to be your billing. Now, this is tailored to how your company or how the client might work. So you can have a general billing section where you can bill the client as a whole company, or you can add custom billing information. Now, this is where you can bill the client based on the site. So if there's individual sites and they have individual billing processes, you can differentiate with that here. An added benefit for this profile is that you can also add new documents. So, for example, if you want to keep the SLA for that particular client in one place, you can do that. If there's any certain policies or procedures, anything additional that you might want to put in outside of the SLA, under the document section, you can do that. And so it's all stored in one location for you. The important part is then setting up the rates for your actual client. Now, you can set up the rate by site, and in doing that, you'll be able to then create the rate by site, the worker type, and then add the skills that are related to that particular staff member. That, along with the cancellation policy, will appear here, and you've got a clear overview of what that rate card looks like for that particular home under that group. You can have multiple, don't just have to have one. You can add as many as you want. And that is pretty much the whole setup for your clients. And this is going to be really important to get that setup complete on Agency Accelerator. If you're looking to then schedule shifts and being able to post jobs for workers, that is in relation to this particular client. If you're looking to self-bill and use the invoicing module within Agency Accelerator, you'll need the client profile to be completed fully with all the information. Now, a common question that we do get asked, and it's very valid, is that as an existing Care Highs agency, you might want to keep your external clients outside of reach of Care Highs, and that's absolutely fine. Now, what happens is this entire platform, Agency Accelerator, is built on a separate system and encryption, which means that we as Care Highs cannot see any external clients, and we can also not see any of the additional workforce that you add onto Agency Accelerator as a platform. If I move over to the employee section, this is where you'll start to have seen a bit of a change from the original Care Highs platform and what's now on Agency Accelerator. You'll have the option to do a quick add for the worker. Now, this is really handy for anyone who is in the process of onboarding and any staff for their particular agency. You might just have the key information right now for that worker, and that's absolutely fine. You just pop those details in here, and once you've saved that section, it will create a brand new profile for that worker. You can then go ahead and populate that information as and when you get that detail. Now, something that's important to note is that you're going to have a label here that says off panel. Now, what we mean by off panel is any workers that you've not necessarily submitted to the Care Hires platform or to the Care Hires clients. So those are regarded as your off panel. It will be your entire workforce if you're using Accelerator. And with any off-panel workers, you have the option of deciding what details you're going to fill when it comes to your internal compliance, your internal processes. So you'll see the fields are pretty much the same as what you would have on a general care hires profile, but you've got the option to add as and when you require. Now, if I move on to a full profile, I will give you an indication of what it might look like. If it is a care hires profile, it will say care hires here and it will say approved. I'll show you how you convert that in a moment. So what I'll do is I'll talk you through the profile itself. You've got all the key information, residential details, employment information you want to add. You've got the contract start date, designation. If you want to use that internally, that's absolutely fine. Option to opt them into payroll, that is now there available. So these are all new features on the system. You're going to come to the document section. Now, a lot of you will be familiar with this in uploading documents for care hires. Something to note about here is that anything that says mandatory in this section is mandatory for care hires compliance, which means, again, you've got the flexibility to add whatever documents you require. Now, with the same features as hires, the mandatory document section will adjust based on the profile that you've set up. So this particular worker is a student, therefore it's asking for the student timetable that allows that flexibility of hours outside of term time. This particular worker is a driver with a driving license, so it's asking for the full driving license of this worker. That is there available to you. You've also got a section called other documents that allows you to add additional documentations or policies that you might have with this particular worker. For example, if you've got the agency agreement or contract between yourself and that employee, you can add that contract over here. If they're opting out of the 48-hour policy and they want to work more than 48 hours in the week, you can pop that policy here so you're aware that that worker has that eligibility. The certificate section is pretty much the same as what Care Hires had on its platform, but you will see that individually you'll be able to add the modules, you'll be able to add the delivery method. That is slightly changed there, but pretty much the same. You're still going to get notifications if documents are due to expire, and when they are expired, it will flag up to you. And we've got a separate compliance and training matrix that will give the added benefit of letting you know of exactly what's due to expire and when. The rest of the sections are pretty much the same as a standard Care Hires profile. You've got the worker history references here. The key differences on a profile is that you're now able to configure the cost of each worker. Now, this is going to be really critical for you when you are scheduling payroll for this worker. You want to make sure that their rates and everything is updated correctly against their profile, and then also leave. A new feature on Agency Accelerator is that you can now log and manage leave for your employees. So you want to set up that allowance for that particular worker in order to accept any requests and opportunities for them to go on to leave. This is going to be important for you when you look at the entire scheduling aspect of a worker or your rotas for the week. You'll be able to identify which staff are on leave and when. So that's really important there for you. The key thing about converting an Agency Accelerator off-panel worker into a Care Hires worker profile is that you're able to get access to new opportunities and new clients and bid in applications much swifter and sooner. So this is a worker who is off panel, not visible to Care Hires at all. It's part of this agency. I've marked it as active, but I'd like to submit this profile for a new client opportunity through the marketplace with Care Hires. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the self-assessment tool button here, and what it's going to do, it's going to scan the profile and identify if there's anything outstanding for any Care Hires mandatory compliance or any fields that are missing. Right now, everything is pretty much complete. So what I'm going to do is submit for review. As soon as I submit for review, it's going to go across to our Care Hires compliance team. They'll be able to approve that profile for Care Hires, and you'll then be able to submit that worker for any new client opportunities. So having your entire workforce on the Agency Accelerator platform is really going to speed up your opportunities with new clients, with new Care Hires clients, especially with those who are familiar with this process. You know that sometimes deadlines can be tight. You want to get into that bid on the marketplace and submit your agency, but you might not have the staff readily available on the platform. And this is a way to make sure they're already available, and all you need to do is click up a button, submit them across to Care Hires. So when it wins you new business, gets you more opportunity from that standpoint. Now, something that a lot of you may be familiar with is that Care Hires did have an app for their workers. Now, this is now converted into the Agency Accelerator app, and it's accessible to all of your workforce that are on the Accelerator platform. Now, what that means is, as an added benefit of the app, what they can do is, what they'll be able to do is upload any of the profile documents and compliance requirements that you need for them to populate their profile. So as soon as you've done the quick add feature there and invited them to use the mobile app, from here, they'll be able to log in, look at their profile, and then submit the relevant information that you need. So that reduces a hell of a lot of admin time for you, and it makes sure that they're accountable for their registration with your agency and, you know, pushing themselves to get more work from you. So that is all available through the app at this point in time. In terms of the other features on the employee section, you've got the cost configuration. So just as I mentioned, you've got the opportunity to manage cost configuration for an individual worker. You can still do that here for the entire group or workforce that you have. The compliance and training matrix is a really great feature that we have now on Agency Accelerator. And with Agency Accelerator, you're able to see your entire workforce and view where the training is due to be expired, where it's actually expired, and you've got a full overview here to have a look at that. If you wanted to click on the individual worker, you'll be able to do that, and you'll see a quick summary of it. You'll see that this worker, Aruba, she has 50% of her compliance completed, and these are the outstanding and expired documents. So you've got a few combinations to look at it, this particular view. You can also export it. So in instance, you want to just have a CSV file, you can export that, and it will show in the same format. So it will still be color coded. You'll know exactly what's due to be expired, and you can see it as a full version. You've got the compliance matrix here, and then you've got the training matrix here. So the training matrix is related to the certificate section. Great. So the next section then is Teams. Now, Teams is fairly simple, and it's something that is going to be really useful to you as an agency when you're scheduling shifts. What you're able to do is you're able to group and categorize workers in groups. So if, for example, you might want to do the night support team, those that are available only for night shifts within a specific location, and you're able to create that group. It's a free-for-all, so you can create as many group teams as you want, have as many people on there. But what it does is when you go ahead and post a shift, it allows you to allocate that shift to a specific team. And if you wanted to further narrow that down, you can select team and then the specific staff from that particular team. And this just helps you really refocus where that job is going to be posted to. Leave section is pretty standard for a lot of HRIS systems, and it allows you to manage leave requests, add leave here through the portal if you wanted to. The worker with the app also has access to request leave. So it works both ways. You can do it through the system or they can do it through the app, but everything will be sort of eligible to be put here, and you can add, the leave request if you like here. And once you've done that and added leave, it will come through as a request to be approved. You can then go ahead and approve that leave. I'm going to skip over to the job section. The job section is going to be important for your scheduling and rota management. So, sometimes we speak to a lot of agencies who still have manual spreadsheets, logging on emails, what their rotas are, or maybe they have got a system for their rotas, but their billing and invoicing is on a completely different system, or payroll is on a completely different system. What the scheduling piece allows is it allows to integrate from the jobs to invoicing to payroll. So everything is tracked in one central location, not just for your Care Hires clients, but your off-panel clients as well. So this example here shows you there's some jobs you can see with the logo. That is your Care Hires client jobs. And then you've got some here with the building little icon here, and that is your off-panel jobs. Something to be very clear about here as well is from a Care Hires standpoint, we will only be able to witness and see the Care Hires job. So any of that, all the confidentiality is there, and you're able to focus on, just looking at the schedule as a whole. We will be able to support you with the Care Hires shifts. As a standard, the job section works exactly the same as the Care Hires features do right now. It just means that you're able to now schedule your off-panel clients, your direct clients into the rota. It helps you understand where your staff really are, and if they're on leave for any particular days or weeks, you're able to factor that in to the rota, into the scheduling for any of the clients. With the job posting as well, it's something important to remember as well. When a job is posted, the worker will get access to see that job, and they'll be able to suggest themselves for the job as well. Whether it's a Care Hire client or not, they'll still be able to suggest themselves. You as the agency, if it's direct client, have the authority to go ahead and book them on for that particular shift. So very much the same functionality, but it allows you to have everything in one central location. Now, the next step with all jobs is processing timesheets. So with the timesheet module, we've created a new task section here, which allows you to monitor and view all of your timesheets that you require submitting for both Care Hires and off-panel clients. You've got the list of timesheets here. If the worker is using the mobile app, what they will be able to do is they will be able to reach the service, clock in on the app to start the shift, and then before they leave, they must clock out of the shift through the app. Now, because the app is geo-fenced, it means that they need to be within the location of the home to be able to clock in, clock out, and submit a digital timesheet. They can then submit that timesheet through the app, and you will receive it in this section over here. If they're not using the app, and that's absolutely fine if they're not, or if a client is still requesting manual timesheets, we still get those, and they want to hand sign it, that's not a problem either. The worker can take a picture of that manual timesheet and then submit it again through the app, and it's not a problem. It's submitted through to you by Monday, 5 p.m. You can then go ahead and review the timesheet, update the times if it's needed. If you need to update the approved document, you can do that here. But if they've done it through the app, it'll already appear here for you. And that's the quite swift way of using the timesheet, the app, sorry, for timesheet submission. It's really going to help you fast track that process of trying to collect those timesheets from those workers. They'll be able to get it to you quite swiftly. Once that timesheet is then completed, it can then be either submitted to the Care Hires clients, or it will then generate an invoice for any of the off-panel clients here. So those invoices will generate here just as it did for the care hires clients. But what you do have is the option for any off-panel clients you see here. You do have the added benefit of being able to edit an invoice, issue a credit note, download, view the invoice. So you can go into the invoice and update line items for that invoice if you needed to add anything extra. If that invoice is ready to go, you can hit send invoice. It's going to go out to that digital billing address that you've put on the client's profile. Once you've got the payment, you click on pay invoice, and then you mark that it's paid, update the evidence that it has been paid. And once you've done that entire process, you might be in a position ready to then move on to managing payroll. So managing payroll is going to be something that is managed internally. You can control that from your internal team. As you get multiple users with your agency, you can simply just have a user just for finance, and they will be able to see all the entities and modules that are related to finance. You want to create a draft payroll, set that up between the payroll period. What will happen is, based on the jobs that you have completed with said workers, whether they're with care hires or off panel, it will automatically calculate the hours that they've worked and what they're due to be paid. And you can see here that it's capturing both PAYE and self-employed staff. So that will all be captured here automatically for you on the payroll. You do have the option to edit any of this, make any deductions, add any additional leaves that came about later. You have the option to do that and amend as you see fit. Once it's all completed, you can generate the export, and that will then lock in your payroll for that particular period. And then what you will be able to see is this particular dashboard. You can then download pay slips from this section and send them across to your employees. So everything is there for you. If you wanted to download a full report and a copy and send it across to your financing or HMRC Sage or Xero, you can do that. If you're using those systems, you're able to do that. But this is primarily the payroll features that you can keep in-house as an agency. It means scrapping. I think a lot of people outsource their finance teams or who manage payroll. This allows you to keep everything in-house, reduce those costs in paying for additional services. It just takes a little bit of training, monitoring, and as long as you're entering that data when it comes to shifts and processing those invoices, payroll should be a breeze in getting that through, because everything is automated for you through the system. The final section that is really important, and I think one of the top things that we received in feedback from agencies, is wanting reports on their performance. Now, this is a game changer for any agencies who want to focus on their growth and quality of their agency and workforce. And clients, what the reports allow you to do, you're going to have standard reports for during the free version, what you have access right now. If you're looking to upgrade to Pro, you're going to get more enhanced reports. You're going to have bespoke reports tailored to you as an agency and what you're looking for. Now, a lot of agencies want to understand what their fill rate is between each client, what the lead time is for staff to suggest themselves or for staff to get booked in. It allows you to understand the performance between client on client, where you might be doing really well, where you might need a lot more attention, or where staff quality might be missed. You're able to pull these reports on a weekly basis or schedule them to be received on a weekly basis, or as and when you require. You're able to then monitor what's happening across your business. So some of these are the standard reports that we have, but additionally, if you have any others that you want bespoke to you, then we can have that conversation, get that set up and ready for you on your Pro account, so you can start using those features. Now, that's a lot of the system that that you will use as a agency. You'll have access to. One of the things I wanted to show you just a quick view of is the Worker mobile app. Now, this is something that you might want to just get familiar with. You as an agency don't have an app just yet, but of course the system is a web product, so you can log into your laptop or your iPad or your phone and go onto the web browser and use the system as an agency user. In this instance, the worker doesn't have access to it like you do, so they'll have access to the worker mobile app, and this is what it will look like. They'll be able to see the jobs that are available to them. If I click on open jobs for myself, based on my location, my role, and my skills, I'm going to get those jobs appear that are suitable for me. If I click on an open job, I can apply for that shift. Now you can see that it gives me the shift details. It tells me any notes I might need to know as the worker, and then I can go ahead and apply for the shift. As soon as I go ahead and apply for that shift, you will then get notified as an agency that I'd like to go onto that shift, and you can then go ahead and allocate me onto that particular shift. If I go onto the shifts at the moment and I see a shift here, let's have a look. This one has pretty much started. Let's just say that is one of my shifts. I can put myself en route. As soon as I put myself en route, what it does is it marks you and lets you know on the system that I am en route to the particular shift. As soon as I get to the shift, I can start a job. So remember that clock in, clock out feature I explained for the timesheet. This is part of the process and it allows me to start the job and then finish the job. Once I go ahead and do that, I'll be able to then go ahead and submit the timesheet at the end of the shift. There you go. So I can upload timesheet, enter in the information that I need, click upload, upload the relevant document. If I need to take a picture, I can do that, and then I can submit the timesheet. And that goes across to you on the platform, so you're able to then view the timesheet. And remember, we mentioned the leave element. The workers will be able to add any new leave requests here. Perfect. So that's all the platform right now and its capabilities. Of course, we can have a further discussion. I'm happy to take any questions that you might have. Let me have a look and see if there's any questions that have come through. Okay, 1 moment. Okay, there doesn't seem to be any questions at the moment. So just to put it out there, does anyone have any burning questions or anything that you would like to know at the moment? Yeah, so after this call, what we will do is we will send further information. You'll actually be able to access this, you'll actually be able to access the webinar through a link. So we will send that information across right after the webinar today. Any questions regarding Agency Accelerator? Yeah, as I said, you will get the recording and you'll be able to view the webinar, not a problem. It will be after this call, we will send in links out to you. Yeah, of course. So for Agency Accelerator, you already have access to the basic and free version. It gives you components where you can upload clients, you can upload employees, but the remainder of the functionality, such as payroll, reporting, and invoicing, won't be accessible to you unless you have your external clients on there. You can use it for your care hires workers only, but those will not be enabled in the basic version. To upgrade, you can upgrade directly through the platform yourself. It is a 1% fee of all invoice transactions or invoiced revenue through the system. So, and that is for any off-panel clients. So any care hires clients, you will not be charged for the Accelerator platform. It is only for off-panel clients. It will be a 1% fee for all invoices transacted and billed through the platform for off-panel clients. In terms of the implementation timeline, it can take, you can do it same day, or it can take up to 2 weeks. So we do have a self-upgrade button available. I've pinned that in the chat, so you can scroll to the top of the chat, have a look at the pin. There will be a link to upgrade immediately. That gives you access to all of the pro functionalities immediately. And so you can start utilizing it. You can start uploading new clients, their shifts and their opportunities. If you're looking for a more bespoke migration from another service, or you'd like a further chat about this, that's absolutely fine. We can connect one-on-one after this webinar and schedule in some time. We can have a look at your current circumstances and look at how we might look at migrating your data onto Agency Accelerator. It can take, like I said, between same day you can upgrade and get up and running, or it can take up to 2 weeks. It really depends on your circumstances and what systems you're using at the moment. Okay. Yeah, so as I said, please get in contact. We'll send a booking link to you and further information after this call, so you can get in contact with me one-on-one and we can discuss ways in which you can implement the Agency Accelerator platform for your company. Okay. So just to reiterate on the cost, for the Pro Agency Accelerator Pro, it is a 1% charge of all invoices that are billed through the raised through the Agency Accelerator platform, and this is for off-panel clients only, not your care hires clients. So any off-panel clients that you schedule and you bill through the system, it will be a 1% fee on every month's invoices that you do have. Now, what you tend to do is that what we've recognized is, of course, as a temp staffing agency, revenue is going to fluctuate on a month-to-month basis, which is why you don't have a fixed fee across each and every month. It does mirror what you're actually processing through the platform, so it aligns with that. There is no additional cost for the payroll. If you're on the Pro version, you get that payroll functionality. So everything you've seen me go through today, that is all part of the Pro functionality, and you're going to have that as part of the Pro version. Okay, just go through a few more questions. Yeah, so I've got a question here. So the upgrade, is the upgrade free? So like I said, when you log in and you're seeing Agency Accelerator, you're seeing the free version, you're seeing a version that is available to you to manage your care hires, clients, care hires, workers, and bill for them. If you are choosing to use your off-panel clients, you can add them onto the free version. But if you're looking to actually manage the rotas, build them through the system, use the payroll functionality and the billing and reporting section, which is most important, then you would want to upgrade to the Pro version, because you're getting a full bird's eye view and full visibility and oversight of your entire business and its operations, which is what Agency Accelerator is built for. It's not just another tool that you need to use alongside all the other systems. It's your one central location where you want to manage all of your clients, all of your workforce in one place. There's no setup costs for Agency Accelerator, so that is all included. Everything is going to be delivered to you. When it comes to the setup, we'll be there to support you, migrate any data that needs to be onto the Agency Accelerator platform. That is all absolutely free. It is simply when you start using the system, and you'll have that 1% fee on all invoiced revenue. Right. Any additional products that we do have with Agency Accelerator, and some of you may have seen this on the website, on any material that we've shared, is we do have some bolt-on products. So we actually partner with an exclusive partner who provides exclusive rates to our Care Highs agency for finance factoring. And so if you're interested in getting referred across to our partner or want to know more about that, then I'm happy to pick that up after the call with yourselves one-on-one. You can just get in touch and respond to the communications that we send out. That's something that I'll be happy to support you with and offer those exclusive rates as Care Highs agencies. We do also have the ability to get access to a new provider for care insurance. That is something that you can, of course, get a quote from us. And we'll be able to support you with that. We also have an LMS platform, Care Academy. You'll see that here. Care Academy is an online LMS platform, and that is at an additional cost, and I'm happy to talk you through that cost. It is £24 per user per annum, and that is for them to access unlimited courses. So we have over 100 e-learning courses that they would have. So they wouldn't go into the app and then have to repurchase anymore. Everything is all part of that bundle in Care Academy, and we can discuss getting you set up for that. All courses are CPD accredited and Skills for Care endorsed, so you are in a position to be able to utilize that training for additional clients or outside of Care Highs as well. So those are the three products that we have in addition that you can add on to Accelerator to really enhance that experience. That's Capital Advance, which is your finance factoring service. You've got Care Insurance, and then you've also got Care Academy, which is training for your staff. So if you've ever got in a situation where you're on the compliance and training matrix and staff have expired training, you can give them a nudge and get them onto Care Academy quite quickly. Same day, we can do that for you, and then go ahead and get their training completed and up to scratch for your clients. Perfect. I'm just going to go through a few more questions that I can see. Sorry, the 1% fee that you do pay is on a monthly basis. So it will be the same day at the beginning of the month, and it will be based on the revenue that was billed on the previous month. So it's a monthly payment that you will be making. Yes, any workers who are off panel, so your internal staff that are not necessarily Care Highs profiles, yes, they will have access to the mobile app. And so any jobs that you do post for your direct clients, they will be able to see them as well. Okay, see if there's any more. Okay, I think we've pretty much covered a lot of the questions on Agency Accelerator. If there is anything specific on Care Highs, what I'll do is I will just reach out to you directly and just discuss that. That's not a problem. In terms of Agency Accelerator, I hope you have been able to, sort of witness exactly what we're providing to you as a company and the benefits of the system. Of course, if you've got any additional questions that come up after the webinar, or you'd like a quick one-to-one to understand the next steps and really get moving on getting you implemented on Agency Accelerator, then I'm more than happy to schedule that in. After the call, what we'll be doing is we'll be sending a email through which will have links to book in for a meeting with me, and then additional answers to the questions that's been raised today. And then also a link to the actual webinar, so you can go ahead and rewatch that at any point that you'd like. Lovely. So I can see some of the comments section is also getting populated. A reminder that there's a link at the top of the comment section. It's pinned, and it is a link for you to go ahead and upgrade onto the Pro account. Now, remember, it's not going to bill you immediately for anything. It's only once you start actually transacting through the system. So you can go ahead, jump onto Pro, start using the system, start updating all your clients and getting in the motion of things. And when you're ready and got onto that Pro version, I'll give you a call and we can set up a meeting to actually implement that across the board, make sure you're set up correctly and using the system as a whole. So yeah, give it a quick click and see if you want to enroll into the Pro. If after the webinar you decide to do that, that's not a problem. You can log in onto Agency Accelerator, and at the top of your dashboard will be an upgrade link for you there as well. Perfect. I can't see any more questions. Just give me one. Perfect. I can't see any more questions that have come about regarding Agency Accelerator. So I will leave it there, and thank you so much everyone for joining and being patient with me as we go through Agency Accelerator. As I said, please get in contact if you're interested and want to know more and get involved with Agency Accelerator. Of course, if there's any other questions, you can email us as well at sales@getagencyaccelerator.com. We'll be able to support you there as well, but all details will be on the email following you shortly. Great. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye. Bye.